second graders. Today, we're going to start learning about poetry. Poetry is a style of writing, and there's a bunch of different types of poems and a bunch of different characteristics that they have. So to start us off, we're going to look at some different types of poems. The first poems we'll read are from this book called Almost Late to School and More School Poems, written by Carol Diggory Shields and illustrated by Paul Measle. The first poem we're going to look at from this book is called The First Day. Thank you for showing me this very nice school. The cubbies are nice and the easels are cool. The blocks look like fun and the chairs are just right. The hamster is cute and you say he won't bite. The playground has sand and seesaws and swings, and the dress-up corner is full of neat things. The posters are pretty that show ABCs. Too bad I can't stay. Could you call my mom, please? Now, what did you all notice about this book, or about this poem? Maybe how it sounds? That's right, this poem uses a lot of rhyming in it. The next poem we'll look at is this poem called Show and Share. I brought my snake to school today. The teacher said it was okay, as long as he was safe and sound and not out wiggling all around. I put him carefully inside a sturdy bag so he could hide and not be nervous or freaked out as I carried him about. And everything was going fine until it came to sharing time. Here's my snake, I proudly said, and pulled out my dad's lunch instead. Now, what do you notice about this poem? That's right, it's in a special shape, almost like a snake. Next, we're gonna read this poem called B-Ball. Rebound, swish sound, bounce pass, break fast. 3 in the key, over to me. Hook shot, I'm hot. Backcourt, shoot short. Round the rim, almost in. Free throw, way to go. We won, had fun. What do you notice about this poem? That's right, it uses a lot of short, fast words. And finally, from this book, we'll look at the jump rope rhyme poem. I'm a little schoolgirl dressed in pink. At jumping rope, I really stink. I jump in and 1, 2, 3. I fall down and skin my knee. Jump on 1 foot, jump on 2. The rope goes tangled around my shoe. As a jump rope jumper, I have no hope, but I'm very, very good at turning the rope. What do you notice about this poem? That's right, it rhymes and it's in the shape of the jump rope. Pretty cool. Next, we are going to look at a poem that's called a haiku. And a haiku uses 3 lines in it, and the first line and the very last line have 5 syllables, and the middle line has 7. This particular poem is from The Maine Coon's Haiku and Other Poems for Cat Lovers by Michael J. Rosen and illustrated by Lee White. This book is full of poems about cats. Persian, stiff winter white cat, still pads the snow-hidden path, all is mute as flakes. And next we'll look at this poem book called I Didn't Do It, by Patricia McLaughlin and Emily McLaughlin, and illustrated by Katie Schneider. In this book, there's all poems about puppies. This poem is called What I Like. What I like, round I like, balls, balloons, bubbles, and orange I hid somewhere. Sweet I like, jelly beans, cookies, cake crumbs, ice cream, dipped from a cone, gum when I find it on the sidewalk. Water in summer I like, drinking in it, swimming in it, shaking it all over. No, not my bath. Warm in the winter I like, my fleece coat, my blanket, a winter fire, your lap. What do you notice about this poem? Yeah, it has lists of all things round, all things sweet, water, and then warm. Next, we'll look at this poem called I Didn't Do It. I didn't do it. I didn't chew your slipper. I don't like the taste of wool. I didn't do it. I didn't eat the buttons off your coat. It was a bird. Flew in the window. A big bird. It pecked the buttons off and flew away again. I didn't do it. I didn't eat your food. It was the cat who jumped up on the table and dragged your pork chop off. I watched it, but it wasn't me. I didn't do it. I didn't bury my bone in your garden under your peony bush. It was another dog, the hound from down the street. His name is Rascal, I think. Not me, not me, not me. What do you notice about this poem? That's right, it's repetitive. It says, I didn't do it, and then explains something that the dog didn't do. And then it says, I didn't do it again, and explains another thing, and continues like that. And finally, the last type of poem we'll look at today is called an acrostic poem. This poem is from the book called a poem book about volcanoes. It is entitled Sun, and if you notice, the first letters down the side spell midday. Sun, my baker friend has just begun. I know because it's noon. I look straight down and see the stream escape her door. By twilight she'll be finished, and Moon and I will share a feast. Yes, the bread will be delicious. So, what we are going to do today, after looking at all these different types of poems and all the different characteristics, we are going to write acrostic poems about our favorite animals, or any animals. So, I created an acrostic poem using words that describe a cat. Notice how down the side it spells cat, C-A-T. And then for C, curious, A, always cuddly, T, talented. Now, we're going to write an acrostic poem all together about a rabbit. So here are the letters for rabbit. R-A-B-B-I-T. Now, let's think of some words that would describe a rabbit. I'll pass out this list of adjectives to each table so in case you need help thinking of some words. Who has an idea for what we could use for R that would describe a rabbit?
Racing.
Oh, racing. All right, what about A?
Adorable.
Adorable. B?
Bouncy.
Bouncy. Now we have another B.
Brave.
Brave, that's a good one. I?
Interesting.
Interesting. And lastly, T.
Talented.
Talented. All right, now that we have written a poem about a rabbit together, you all can pick any animal that you want and create your own acrostic poem using the adjective list, and I will also pass out a blank sheet of paper so that you all can write your poems on there. All right, who has finished their poem?
I have.
Great.
I chose the word dog.
Awesome. And what was the hardest part about writing your poem?
Coming up with descriptive words.
Yes, that can be very tricky. Did you have a favorite part about writing your poem?
I like to think about my own dog.
That's awesome. That's pretty cool. Well, thank you all for doing this activity today. As the week goes on and we continue our poetry unit, we'll look at all the other types of poems that we looked at today.